Hey, Miss Allen. Blessings to you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. How you doing today? Happy Friday. What's up, Stephanie? I literally just sent it to you. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Can you tell Visha that she needs to be here, Stephanie? Happy Friday. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yes. And the thing about, saying we made it, like, did we really expect anything other than to make it? That's the thing that, we have to start thinking about. Like, yes, I made it, but did I expect anything else but to make it? Did I expect anything else but to make it? And that's like so prophetic, because as many of us are entering into that phase where the test is over and we're waiting on the blessings, like, it's like, did I expect anything else? Did I expect God to fail me? Did I expect not to make it to the end of this year? And I know, honestly, some of us, with everything that we've gone through, like, we kind of like, question, am I going to make it? Certain tests, certain trials, certain storms really make you feel like, am I going to make it? But it's like when you do make it, your mindset starts to shift to like, how could I ever have doubted that I would really make it? How could I ever have doubted that it was going to go any other way? And, I think that that's a right now word for some of y'all that are, that are in, now or catching this on the replay. Maybe you're going through something and you got to start asking yourself, why do I expect not to make it? I'm going to just flow. Why do I expect not to be victorious? Why am I expecting to not win this battle? Why am I expecting for God? I feel God. Why am I expecting for God not to come through? Why am I expecting for him not to favor me, for him not to, reward my faith? Why am I expecting the opposite of victory? That's a heart check for so many people. Because, like, if you really think about it, when we're going through, our mindset is not from that perspective of, I'm not going, why won't I make it? Our like responses be total fearful. I'm going to fail. It ain't going to work out. Why do you expect for it not to work out is really the real question. That's not even the broadcast. That's just wisdom. And I believe that with where God is moving, like the remnant, the church, like what he's simply saying is expect to make it. Expect to be victorious. Expect things to turn around. Come on, somebody. Expect the breakthrough. Expect the finances that you need to come. Expect it. Somebody type that in. Expect it. And here's the thing with expecting God to come through. You can expect God to do something, but not try to, tell him how you expect him to do it. That's a whole right now word. You can have expectations of a victory without putting conditions on those expectations. This ain't even a word. I'm gonna say that again. It's one thing to say, God, I expect the win. I expect the victory. Without saying, God, this is the way I expect you to do it. And I think that that's where so many of us, myself included, have gone wrong at in the past. We expect God to move a certain way. Not only do we, our expectation of the victory is conditional. God, do it my way. And if you don't do it my way, I'm going to start doubting. I'm going to have fear. I'm going to be anxious. I'm going to be stressed out. I'm going to be worried. God is saying, expect the victory with no conditions on the how. That's really how you get into a place where you get every single thing that God has for you, right? And I think honestly, that was the principle that God taught me with everything that he's done in my life, is to expect a win with no condition. Meaning, don't try to tell me how to give you the victory. Don't try to tell me how to give you the promise. Just expect it. Expect it. That way, the enemy can't, come in like a flood and flood our minds with thoughts of doubt. He can't flood our minds with fear. When we have no absolutely conditions on the victory, we just want the victory. And if I can be honest, at every single juncture in my life, like where God has shifted me, like even like out of the wilderness, like there came a point where the process got me to a place where I said, you know what, God, I'm not putting no conditions on where I move. I just need to move. I just need the victory. And it's like the moment where I took my conditions off of how I expected God to give me the victory with living arrangements, it came. Same thing with the Audi. Same thing with the vehicle I have now. He wants us to just expect. Expect to be able to pay that bill. Expect whatever it is that I've promised you. But don't try to tell me how to do it. Right? So a lot of times what happens is, unconsciously, we mistake writing the vision and making it plain with being able to tell God how to do what he want to do. Yeah, I said what I said. That's what we do. God, I wrote the vision, made it plain. We mistake our desires of our heart for having the authority to tell God how to give it to us. That's deep. I know, right? And again, I've done it too. It's something that we all unconsciously do. So what happens a lot of times in the process when we're going through the storm and when we're dealing with the frustration, the doubt, the setbacks from us trying to tell God how to bring us the victory, is he has to humble us. And he has to let the process bring us to a place where we are down on our knees, on our faces, and we're simply like, God, however you want to do it, whatever way you want to do it, it's going to be done. Am I making sense? He allows the process to get you to the place where you like, God, you know what? Forget them conditions I had, right? Forget the conditions. And if we really think about it, this predates back to the Bible. Was that not like what the children of Israel did? Was it not what they did? The children of Israel did that. God made them a promise. They had expectations on the promise, but their expectations were conditional. If we gonna receive this promise, this is the way we expect you to take us to. And when God didn't do it, they threw a hissy fit. They rebelled the entire way. And it prevented them from getting over into the promised land, the first generation. That was what prevented them. They would not let the process, rid them and strip them of the conditions that they had placed on God. Yes, God made you a promise, but he didn't tell you he was going to take you this shorter way. He didn't tell you he was going to do it the way that and honestly, the way that we want God to do things or to move or to give us the victory, it's an easy way in our mind. It's a way with no struggle. It's a quick way. This is how I want you to do it, God. And this is how I expect you to do it. Am I making sense? That's what we be doing. And so, it's like God gave that first generation of Israelites so many like different chances to just surrender. He overlooked a lot of stuff. He overlooked their, lack of gratitude. He gave them time. But at the end of the day, we have free will. And they chose of their own volition, of their own free will, not to let go of the condition. They didn't want to accept that God was doing it a different way, that he was taking them down an unexpected path. They didn't want to receive that. And so they continued in their rebellion until, boom, you can't get the promise. Not true enough, the Bible tells us that the promises of God, I don't know why he got me talking about this, but I'm a flow. True enough, the Bible tells us the promises of God are yes and amen, but do you not know, like, you can surrender your promise? Like, there is a such thing of surrendering your promise the same way that, like, you can surrender your salvation. It's free will. I'm going to say that again. There is a such thing as surrendering your promise. When you refuse to surrender to how God wants to do it, you risk the chance of not being able to get it at all. And it ain't that God don't want to give it to you. It's just you're not receptive, that he won't be told what to do. And that he wants to do it a different way. And if we can be honest, God always does things in a way that we have not thought about, in a way that we couldn't have possibly even crafted up in our mind. I say that to say, let go of the conditional, like, expectations that you have. Some of us are still waiting, myself included. And God is just saying, when you get to a point where you stop trying to tell me how to do it, then you can receive it. The children of Israel didn't know that, like, even though the route looked like it was a super long route, in despite of them already having a rough life, they didn't understand that it was only if they could have just surrendered, if they could have just taken, the conditions off of their expectations, it literally would have only taken them 4 days. But what happened? 4 days turned into 40 years. But I would like to think that, like, the second generation, the next generation, that what actually got them to the promised land is they actually started to do things the right way. They actually took the conditions off. By that time, I would believe that the process at that point had beat them down to such a degree where they had no choice but to trust God. They had no choice but to let God do it the way that he wanted to do it. And so the question becomes, have we been blocking? And I say we because it's myself included. Have we been blocking the breakthrough because we're trying to tell God how we expect him to do it? Have we been delaying what he wants to do because we have conditions on how we feel he should move? Have we been delaying things because, of our own mindsets? Because we've just been unwilling to surrender to what it is at the current moment. Like, have we been delaying things? And this is a mature conversation because a lot of times we are the issue. A lot of times it's us. We be sitting up here blaming the devil, and it be us. The entire time it's us. It's us. And so when God knows, and so sometimes God will purposely withhold certain blessings because he knows, like, my child is already not surrendered, right? They love me, but they have conditions on how things should be. So sometimes, let's just say you're believing God for a financial breakthrough. He wants me to break this down. Let's just say you believe in God for, like, a financial breakthrough, and you literally, let's just say it's a major bill that you got to get paid. And let's just say you're expecting funds from a certain place. God knows, like, if I release these funds, like, that they're expecting, they are going to, like, abort mission. I won't be able to get the glory. They're going to do what they want to do. They're going to try to play savior. So sometimes God will withhold the money that we're waiting on because he knows they won't do the right thing with the money. They will immediately let fear take them over, and they will do this thing in their own strength. Right? And it's like that a lot of times. God will withhold a blessing if he knows you ain't going to receive it in the right way, or you're not going to do what he needs you to do with it. He'll withhold it. And he withholds it so that he can get the glory. He withholds it so that he can get the glory. Am I making sense? And so again, the question becomes, have we been delaying things? Have we been delaying things? That's the real question. Is it really the devil? Because the pressure that sometimes we feel is just telling us, hey, you need to surrender. It's not necessarily always the devil. Sometimes the pressure is just God saying, hey, you need to, like, for real, surrender. And that's the broadcast. That's what he wanted me to talk about. I thought he was going to have me talking about something else, but that's it. Because here's the thing, when you surrender, it is so easy to wait. When you're really surrendered, it's easy to go through like foreign territory and just in simple obedience, trusting that, all right, God, I asked you for something, you're answering it, but it don't look the way that I expected. Like, and not only that, when you're really surrendered, you can receive. When you're really surrendered, you can receive. When you're really surrendered, you can receive. I'm gonna say it again. When you're really surrendered, you can receive. A surrendered heart is what allowed me to receive, the exit out of my mom's house, the vehicle, both vehicles. It allowed me to be elevated, but to be elevated the way that God wanted me to be elevated, not how I felt I should have been elevated. When you're really surrendered, you can see progression. It wasn't until I was surrendered that things got better. It wasn't until I was surrendered that God leveled me up. It wasn't until I was surrendered that God actually allowed things to move in a positive way. It wasn't until I was surrendered that I could really receive the peace that I needed. It wasn't until I was surrendered that I was able to keep my joy. It wasn't until I was surrendered that I was able to really focus on my assignment. I'm going to say that again. It wasn't until I was really surrendered that all those things began to happen. Am I making sense? And so this was really big on like my heart. It was really, really big on my heart, like from everything that I've gone through this entire year. And even like recently, even on like last night, it's just God saying, you're at a place now where you're surrendered. And because you're surrendered to me, not only are you at peace, not only do you have joy, not only are you able to rest more, not only are you able now to recover from the storms that you've had to endure this year, but now that you're at a place where you're really surrendered to me, I can do what I want to do. I can move the way that I want to move. I can, elevate you. I can expand your territory. Now that you're at a place where you are really and truly like surrendered, now I can bless you the way that I've been wanting to bless you, because now you can receive it. Now I know that with the blessing, you will do the right thing. You will do the right thing. Now because I know that you're surrendered, when I bless you, you won't squander it. You won't squander the blessing because you feel like, there are certain things that you want to do. Now you will do things the right way. Now, because you're surrendered, I know I can trust you. And the thing about it is, like, when God knows he can trust you, he releases things to you. And I'm not just talking about money. When God really knows that he can trust you, it's nothing that he won't give you. It's nothing that he won't do for you. It's no level in life that he won't take you to. He'll constantly elevate you. He'll constantly favor you. He'll constantly give you grace and mercy. He'll constantly do those things. And that's kind of like where, my mindset has been. Woke up this morning, just peace. I had just pure peace, pure joy. Okay, God, certain things happen. But I'm surrendering my thoughts. And surrenderance is deeper than just our actions. It's saying, God, I surrender my thoughts to you. I surrender my heart to you. I surrender everything attached to me to you. Hey, Natasha. And that's the broadcast. Whew. That's the broadcast. That's it. That's it. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, you can. I don't have a seed title or a seed number. Well, the seed title was just surrender more. Like that is what the year 222 is going to require of us. That was why God allowed this year to be, this year. Many people say, oh, 2021 was real hard. It was this, it was that. But 2021 was the year of God setting the tone for the year 222. It was the year of God saying, I'm bringing my people into a greater level of surrenderance. Because surrenderance is what's needed, it's what's required. Apart from faith, apart from obedience, you can't do any of those things unless you're surrendered. Surrenderance was what I needed to teach my people before I blessed them, before heaven rained down miracles on them. And that's what we're going to see. The people that are the most surrendered going into 222 in the year next year, even starting now, those are the people that you're going to see God raising up. Those are the people that they're literally going to walk in miracles, signs, and wonders. Those are going to be the ministries that we really see God exalt. All the ministries that literally they've mastered the art of surrenderance. That was what the storm taught them. That was what the process taught them. It taught them how to give God everything, every part of them, to give him access to every area of their life. Pure surrenderance. Pure surrenderance. That was why this year was as rocky as it was. God said, I needed to know that you could stay loyal to me, that you could stay surrendered to me, that you would do the right thing even when everything was going wrong around you. I needed to know that your yes was a yes. Y'all know it's easy to give God a yes when you getting everything that you want. When everything is going your way, it's so easy to say, yes, God, I give you my yes. It's easy. It's easy to tell God yes when you think that you're going to get something from him. A lot of people will they'll give God a false yes. And then the moment that he blesses them, they yes ain't a yes no more. It's I'm going to do whatever I want to do now. Now that you've blessed me, I know I gave you my yes, but it ain't a yes no more because I got what I wanted. But like for many of us, like our yes to God this year, it was a yes when we got nothing from it, because for many of us, there have been moments this year where we gave God a yes and we ain't see no fruit. We ain't get no return on it. Tell me I'm lying. We saw no return. Instead of seeing a return, what many of us experienced was a greater level of warfare. But because we remained faithful and our yes was still a yes, maybe you had tears in your eyes, but your yes was still a yes. Maybe you were disappointed. Maybe you were emotional, but you always found a way to still say yes to God. How could he not honor that? That was what Job did. He stayed surrendered. He had emotions. His emotions were all over the place. His emotions were all over the place, y'all. He lost. No matter how good he was, when he was giving God a yes, the enemy still attacked him, and his yes was still a yes to God. How could God not honor that? People these days really don't be loyal. They say they loyal, but they don't be loyal to people. They not loyal to themselves. And because they can't be loyal to themselves, they not loyal to God. It's a false sense of loyalty. Think about the world that we live in. People will preach loyalty all day long. They'll preach it all day long. And then when things get rocky, they fumble the ball. That was really what God showed us this year. Everybody that said that they for me ain't for me. Everybody that say that they're giving me a yes, for some people, it's all fluff. And it's all fluff so that they can get from God. It's for their own selfish gain. That was what this year taught me in ministry. Everybody that say yes, that it really ain't a yes. It's a yes as long as I can get something from you. It's a yes as long as I can manipulate, as long as I can abuse, as long as I can, steal from you. Right, Stephanie, it's a conditional yes. But for many people, that their yes was really a yes in the year 222. Even as we end this year, we're going to see God respond to our yes. And he's going to respond to our yes with a yes. Yes, now I'll bless you. Yes, now I'll promote you. Yes, now because your yes was really a yes. Now I'll restore. Now I'll renew. Now you can rest. Yes, now you can come on. Yes, now you can recover. Yes. Because you gave me a yes all year and it was a hellacious year. I'm going to give you a yes. And that's what many of us are going to be seeing as we end this year and as we begin the new year. We're going to start seeing God. And it's going to start. And that's why he's been telling us, look for the evidence. Because he's responding. He's giving yeses. He's giving yeses in this hour. And that's the broadcast, man. That is it. I love y'all. I'm rooting for y'all.